Hey friends, I've had a kind of a combination of influences arise this morning, and I'm it sometimes astounds me how connected these things are. It's like I don't notice that they're connected until I start looking at them and letting my awareness sort of penetrate beyond the surface. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, of course, all this stuff is connected, and it's fundamentally a very unified message that I'm receiving. Because I woke up and the first thought in my head, I had this interesting sense of needing to let go of financial incentives for the work that I do. And that's a tough one for me, because it's like, it's just one that is, it's hard to put out of mind, or put into it's hard to let it actually subside. And I think it's, it's one of the, it's an impulse, and it's a domain of life that's very tied to our feeling of being able to survive, our feeling of being able to provide and being able to live a rich life, continue living the way we are living, or improve the way we're living. So it's one that it tends to hang on pretty tight. But I have this, all of a sudden I just had this sense of the expansiveness of what it's possible to explore in the world, what this life offers. We live in a solar system. We live in a galaxy. We live on a planet full of just unbelievably inspiring, interesting, challenging, evolving opportunities. And somehow we get stuck on the idea that money is what we should be making our choices about. That's what we should be allowing to determine how we spend the bulk of our time. What? Especially in this day and age with the internet, I have access to anything I might want to learn. I could probably learn how to build a rocket if I wanted to. And so there was just a momentary impression of the freedom and of the energy that is liberated from my system, the energy that all of a sudden can jump out into the world with enthusiasm and just start digging in and exploring and grabbing hold of stuff and playing with it and just engaging. If I'm not worried about money, if I'm not thinking about the financial incentives behind what I'm doing. So that was kind of the first impression. That was like, before I was even out of bed, that was kind of hitting me as I was getting up. And then I happened to pick up a poem. There's a book of poems by Hafiz, which I know I've talked about before. And he talks about, it's a beautiful poem. It's long, and I'm going to have to paraphrase it, but he speaks about when we truly go beyond the obvious, when we truly awaken, excuse me, the illusion of choice disappears. We no longer feel, we no longer harbor the sense of being in control. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but and that sort of struck me as a really powerful message that is kind of combined with what I was feeling spontaneously when I woke up, because it's kind of like there's this way in which it's easy to feel as though we are making our lives happen and choosing to do this or to show up or to, and I the fact is, without dismissing that level of psychological reality and the importance, which I've spoken about that a number of times on this post as well. It's not something I want to dismiss, but getting a sense sense that our own agency is part of something bigger. So even our choices, even what feel like our choices and what feel like our autonomous expressions, they are that. And there's a level on which that is exactly how we should construe them, and that's exactly how we should engage with them. It's just that there's also another level from which we can see that there's something else going on. It doesn't invalidate that level, but it recasts it. It recasts the nature of it. And it really does shift what it means to make a choice or to So somewhere in there, I excuse me, you can tell I'm still kind of coming through this thing. Somewhere in there, it's like both a choice and not a choice, right? I can choose to allow financial incentives to drop away and to approach life, all of life, in a kind of, in a way that allows me to be more free, more engaged, because my engagement isn't limited because of the perspective I'm taking about what's important. On another level, that's not a choice at all. I'm just letting go of or outgrowing the illusion that I ever had the other choice. And that's the thing that kind of keeps showing up for me as not something that disempowers me or compromises my free will, but something that actually affirms and sort of affirms my deepest essence and relaxes me, allows me to relax, gives me permission to stop suffering that illusion. And that's a pretty good feeling. That's a place where it feels like life starts to, it's like flowers. It's like one of those cartoons where somebody falls in love and all of a sudden the walls are full of flowers and the sun's shining indoors, and it's that kind of feeling. Life just starts to burst through. So yeah, that's kind of what I got this morning. Thanks for listening, folks. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Much, much love. My voice will get better. I promise. It doesn't always sound like this. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.